listen to me. I have no problem with you going on Benny Johnson if you go in there and rip him a new one, okay? If you want to go on Benny Johnson and you want to challenge him and challenge his bullshit and his lies and his paid propaganda and all his falsehoods, and you want to take it to him and rough him up debate-wise, I am totally good with that. But if you go on Benny Johnson trying to woo his incel followers, the kids that he's grooming, like, that shit ain't good, dude. And even here, he's got a little Turning Point USA book back here. Because, dude, these guys are scum. They are religious groomers trying to weaponize racism, misogyny, and transphobia and package it as something cool to sell to children. They're after young men 8 to like 15 to try and groom them into Trumpism and you know, Christian nationalism. And it's toxic, bro. They are literally like destroying kids' lives, and they're using religion as their little fucking, like, their little sheep costume to put over their wolf selves.
It started out because I reached out to you offering condolences on the...
Of course it started out with Ro reaching out to him, dude. Like, of course, dude. Ro, I reached out to you to give condolences for that racist, misogynist, transphobic piece of shit that you worship, that you're trying to sell as a religious icon to a bunch of fucking incel boys.
Horrific assassination of Charlie Kirk. And I knew, because you show up in my feeds, how close you were on a human level. And to me, something is broken when we're not able to offer condolences to each other, even if we disagree.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. See, I already have issues with this because Ro, why is it broken? Fucking Ro Khanna, you sitting there. Why is it broken? This shit is broken because of the motherfucker you're sitting across from. Okay? You are sitting across from one of the guys who broke this shit. Okay? With Donald Trump, right? With Benny Johnson, with Charlie Kirk, okay? With these guys that lie and cheat and sneak and spread false propaganda. They call Democrats demons. They say that we're all evil, and they dehumanize all kinds of different people. And you fucking there are like, oh, I'm so mad this is broken. Dude, you're literally sitting there in the room with the motherfuckers with the hammers, and you're like placating these guys going, oh, it's so broken. You should be saying, yo, Benny, why the fuck you break this shit? Why are you a fucking liar? How do you wear a cross and wake up every day and tweet Christ is king and then be a degenerate fucking liar all day long? How do you do that? How do you live with yourself doing that? You know what I'm saying? Dude, I am pissed, bro.
And then I'm so sorry for what your family is going through. I mean, horrific. Having someone you don't know threaten to eliminate not just you, but your wife and kids.
Again, fuck Benny on this one too, because Benny and libs of TikTok and all of these right-wing streamers have been getting gay students and gay teachers and professors from the TPUSA watch list threatened, death threats, and they didn't have Pam Bondi and the president to come jerk them off when it happened and to like throw in the force of the whole government. Like, dude, I am really fucking pissed, bro, at Ro Khanna. Like, this is disgusting, dude.
We were talking about how you may not fess up to it, but you had Democrats at your wedding. And, you know, there used to be a time in this country where you have strong, hard agreements on where the country is going, but we could talk to each other, still have friendships across party lines.
Yeah, that's before you started like getting transgender people killed and cheering on masked Proud Boys running through the streets, smashing windows of cars with babies in them and shit, Ro. And who's promoting that shit?
Try to understand each other, recognize that none of us have a monopoly on the truth, that, you know, we all have blind spots. And so I appreciate your inviting me just to have a conversation. Maybe it's Iowa nice. I don't know what it is, but there needs to be more dialogue in this country.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I want everyone to know that Ro Khanna, before almost anyone, after Charlie's death, reached out. And I don't know how he got my email. We had never spoken before. And not out of animosity, but just we didn't have any professional necessity to speak at that time. And he reached out. Like, the congressman reached out right away and said, how do we fix this? Like, what happened to Charlie was horrible.
Dude, why is he asking Benny Johnson how we fix this, dude? This is fucking making me so mad,
what
bro.
Can we do to make sure that it doesn't happen to any other American? And that is just like such an honorable baseline, such a human baseline, that I think is missed by some people in your party, by some people who've used this as an opportunity to further desecrate, dance on Charlie's grave. And it's been tough to see. It's been tough to watch.
Oh, we dancing. All right.
And it's what makes people cold and bitter, actually, is seeing that even after this man's widow.
See, what's bullshit is you got to ask, why are people dancing on Charlie's grave? Right? Why were people dancing on Charlie's grave? Is it because of like all the fucking anti-trans, racist, misogynist shit that Charlie has done to inspire like those guys in the Telegram chats? You know, like, is that why? I mean, it's not like Charlie was this great unifying guy. Okay. Charlie was a fucking pig. Okay. A degenerate fucking pig that attacked innocent professors, innocent students that didn't fit his white nationalist remigration narrative, his replacement theory bullshit. Like, trans people got killed and beat up because of Charlie Kirk. Okay. And then after a school shooting, he'd go on online and say, like, you know, it's okay. Like, having some deaths, gun deaths are worth it to have the Second Amendment. Spitting in the face of families who lost their kids. You know what I mean? And like, so the thing is if you don't understand why people celebrated him being gone, then you're not paying attention to what he's actually been doing. Or you don't think it's harmful, which is real problematic, because then you're probably going to do the same shit, you know? But like, you can't be a negative, degenerate, attacking motherfucker and then expect people to like rally around you when you're dead.
Wife is widowed and children are orphaned, that there's still no humanity left. And I don't want, you don't want to live in a country like that, right? You don't want to live in a country where people will celebrate the death of somebody that disagree with politically or want to assassinate them. And you can't unite with that. And in order to have a country that functions, you have to be able to agree on more than you disagree on.
Let's do this. You ready? Let's go to Benny's profile for a sec here. I'm going to type in the phrase voted for this. Look at this. Here's Benny Johnson, right? JD Vance says killing cartel members who poison our citizens is the highest and best use of our military. Krasenstein says killing citizens of another nation who are civilians without due process is a war crime. JD Vance is like, I don't give a shit what you'll call it. So this is killing of people from another country without due process. Look at Benny Johnson. He's like, I voted for this. Oh, thanks, Benny. So killing without due process. You're cool with that. Okay? Benny here. This is what I voted for. Filming content of them grabbing people from a Home Depot parking lot. Okay? And it's not just arresting them. It's filming them and making a spectacle of them. Okay? And again, no due process. Look at this. Benny, I voted for this. Clearing of homeless camps. Okay? They drove bulldozers in and they bulldozed all the tents and shit. Now, I know homelessness is a problem, but when you look at those destitute people, right? That's all they had. You sent in a bulldozer and you destroyed the last little bit of possessions those people had. And what happened to those people? Where are they? You took all their shit. What'd you put them in jail? Like, what happened to the people? They don't have a house now. They don't have a place. And yeah, it's going to be winter in a couple weeks. You voted for this, though. Thank you, Benny. And then Donald Trump is wanting to take away people's citizenship that he doesn't like. Benny's like, yeah, I voted for this. Look at that. Alligator Alcatraz, a subhuman, like unconstitutional concentration camps where they like fantasize about alligators eating immigrants. Benny's like, it's beautiful. I voted for this. This is Brad Lander, the New York City comptroller. He's got his hand on a guy because he just says, I want to see the warrant. I want to see the warrant. They drag this guy out of court. This guy who's doing it right, going to court, doing his legal process. Not only do they arrest him in court, but they arrest Brad Lander for holding on to him while asking for a warrant. It was trumped up fucking bullshit. And Benny's like, I voted for this. They slam Brad Lander up against the wall, right? This is Benny. Okay, now you wonder why there's a divide? I mean, there it is, guys. There it is.
This is why we're having this conversation.
Well, I appreciate that. Look, I think we have to be able to see each other's humanity. It shouldn't be a big high bar to say we condemn political assassinations, that if there is a political assassination and you know someone's close to them, that you reach out and you offer condolences, that your heart breaks for someone's wife and their kids, and that we can see each other as Americans, ultimately.
See, here's the deal, guys, is my heart doesn't break for Benny Johnson or his wife or kids or Charlie Kirk or his wife or kids, because I know full well their hearts don't break for ours, okay? And when they say they do, they're fucking lying, okay? Charlie Kirk's heart would never break. Dude, he would probably be calling me an F slur in the group chat. Same with fucking Benny Johnson. Their heart doesn't break. They didn't break for Melissa Hortman. They didn't break for, right? They didn't break for even Joe Biden having cancer, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, they've been cheering this shit. You ready? Let me show you. Let me show you what they support, guys. Look at this. Here's their guy. Look at that, dude. They cheered this. Donald Trump saying the party of hate, evil, and Satan. Democratic Party, okay? We're the party of hate, evil, and Satan. That's a bold fucking statement right there, boss. That's also not true. It's a huge lie. They all celebrated this. So you wonder why when fucking Melissa Hortman died, they didn't say shit. There were no flags at half-staff. The president didn't even call the governor, okay? The president didn't even call the governor when those Minnesota lawmakers got fucking murdered. And in fact, the right-wingers like Benny all made up a story that it was because she voted against, you know, providing health care to undocumented people. Okay? They're fucking disgusting, bro.
It was tough watching Ilhan Omar and AOC, right, use it as an opportunity to attack Charlie. I mean, obviously you disagree with them, but to not have Democrats vote to disavow political violence, right? There's like, I think there was 53 Democrats that did that. And then Ilhan Omar, you know, using it as a real opportunity to attack Charlie, you know, saying that.
I disagree with political violence, but I also agree that like humanity is better off with Charlie Kirk not in the picture. Okay? He was a toxic, harmful, child grooming guy that was weaponizing violence and hate in young men and being wildly successful at it.
You know, his opinion belongs in the dustbin of history. You know, his worldview belongs in the dustbin of history.
It does.
That she's not going to honor this shitty person. Yeah, I mean, it's just a nastiness.
Well, no, she's had a lot of death threats too, right? But look, I think here's where people are coming from on the Democratic side, so we can have an honest.
Dude, he's not even going to defend those women. He said she's had a lot of death threats too, but he won't acknowledge, like, why is it that women won't celebrate Charlie Kirk? Oh, because he was a misogynist piece of shit, right? Because he would go to colleges and tell young women to quit school and go get pregnant. Meanwhile, his wife has like multiple graduate degrees. Like, hello? I mean, what the fuck, dude? Ro, you better, like, pony up here, buddy. You're being a real sack of shit right now.
Conversation. I think even Ilhan or AOC would unequivocally condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk. If they were here, they at a human level would express an empathy for you as someone who knew him. I'm sure of that. I mean, and maybe we as a party needed to do that more. But there are places where Charlie had views that were deeply hurtful to people on our side. Two of those views were what he had said about the Civil Rights Act, right? I mean, if it weren't for the Civil Rights Act, the Immigration Reform Act, my parents wouldn't have been able to come to the United States. I wouldn't be in the United States Congress. And then what the comments he had made about Michelle Obama and Ketanji Jackson Brown. So I don't think it's beyond the pale. You tell me if I'm wrong, to be criticizing.
Well, I'm just saying that he was assassinated, right? So like he was assassinated by the left. So he was killed. And so,
dude, he wasn't assassinated by the left. Like, fuck you, Benny.
Yes. So he's assassinated, and it seems like those are the kind of moments where you can set that stuff aside. Let me give you an example. Right now,
dude, like, no pushback. Bro, dude, I need to take a break from this, bro. I'm serious. Dude, he was not assassinated by the left, bro. I'm tired of that shit. Nobody on the left gave a shit about fucking Charlie Kirk, okay? And we don't even know if Tyler Robinson killed him. And Tyler Robinson certainly wasn't a fucking leftist, okay? He was raised MAGA. He was a Mormon, okay? He may have been closeted gay, which is also a very right-wing thing, but there is no evidence. He had Groyper memes written on bullets, but there is zero fucking evidence other than Spencer Cox talking about left-wing ideology. But there was no fucking left-wing ideology of that guy. None. Okay? He had no, like, online political presence of left-wing. There's no Discord chats of him pumping left-wing philosophy. All he had, guys, was a mother who was a MAGA, like, gun-freaky bitch who didn't even know her own son, who said she thought he was left-wing when she found out he was gay. Okay? A mother who wouldn't let him be gay, who is like, oh, he was left-wing, right? Because why? Because he wanted to be gay and not have to deal with your MAGA Mormon bullshit? Like, fuck you. That doesn't make him left-wing. That makes him a fucking human being. Dude, I am fucking heated, okay? Dude, I am heated. Now, for me, guys, Ro Khanna had very little credibility for me going into it, okay? Ro Khanna did, and you know why? Because Ro Khanna, he represents a very wealthy Silicon Valley district, and sure, he's a Democrat, and he talks about healthcare and all this shit, but every time the Republicans win, his district fucking gets richer. So I don't trust him. Okay, I've never trusted him because he's one of those guys who says, yeah, we want to have health care and we want to have all this shit, but every time the Republicans win, me and all my people get wealthier. And whoops, oh, we missed this time, but we'll get the health care next time. I don't like those guys, okay? He doesn't fucking have any real skin in the game, bro. Again, I don't have a problem with you going on the Benny show if you attack what they're doing. But for him to go up there, for Ro Khanna to go up there and to lament about how broken the political system is while he is sitting across from one of the chief daily system breakers, okay? He is sitting across from one of the chief daily system breakers. Yeah, look at him. Dude, he's like slumped and small and like, and he just like fucking getting ready to sniff Benny's fucking taint, bro. Jesus. Not okay, man. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. go.